Man, the Detroit Lions have some big financial problems on the horizon, and Sam LaPorta's contract is now going to be involved in what this major evolution here of tight end contracts is turning into. And so my first question to you is, do you believe that the Detroit Lions are going to be able to retain Sam LaPorta, especially in light of the news that broke last night? And we're going to talk about it right now. I'm going to show you exactly what's going on with tight end contracts and why the Detroit Lions could potentially lose Sam LaPorta after 2026. He's under control through 2026, but that's it. You don't have a fifth-year option. You could franchise him, and that is always an option for the Detroit Lions. But let's take a look at what I'm talking about. First, let's pull in some of the contracts here and how they explain how they've changed. So as of last year, Travis Kelce was the highest paid tight end at $17.25 million roughly average per year. An amazing amount of money. He's obviously had an amazing career. TJ Hawkinson, $16.5 million APY per year. I don't think that he's really ever deserved or earned what he's been getting paid, but that's neither here nor there. George Kittle obviously has done a hell of a job. Been one of the best tight ends in the league now for several seasons. Dallas Goedert, Mark Andrews. Again, these guys have always been at the tippy top of the mountaintop here and have played fairly well over the longevity of their careers. But now you enter guys like, Sam LaPorta and Trey McBride and Brock Bowers and others. And so what is the floor going to be set at for this next wave of tight end contracts? Well, let's dig into the headlines because that just changed. So yesterday it broke that the Cardinals have went ahead and extended Trey McBride. Now, if you remember, Trey McBride was the 55th overall draft pick of the 2022 NFL draft. If you also remember, Sam LaPorta was drafted in 23 at pick number 34 overall. He was definitely a first-round grade. So why is this important, and how does this affect Sam LaPorta is the question that I'm going to try to answer. Well, on Thursday, the Arizona Cardinals obviously inked Trey McBride after he had a fairly good season last year. I mean, actually a really nice season last year, but I will question his amount of touchdowns. So they locked him up through 2029, a deal that is set to be $76 million, $19 million average per year, and $43 million in guarantees. Now, it slots him as the second highest paid Cardinal and the most expensive highest paid tight end ever in NFL history. How does he deserve it? That is the question that I'm also going to try to answer, because this is a massive deal, as the article says, and had been previously unheard of for a tight end. But now McBride's, what they're considering to be a breakout season as a star among the Arizona's offense, is justification enough for the high dollar amount. And here's why. They're saying that, last season he racked up 111 receptions, but he was also targeted 147 times. Let's make sure that that's understood. And for context, Murray completed 372 passes. That's close to 1/3 of Murray's completions. Well, when you throw him the ball 150 times, you hope he catches the ball 100 times, right? The Cardinals might not have ran a pass-heavy offense in 24, but McBride was far and away the driving force. I think that this is a meteoric disaster for Arizona. I don't think that you sign a tight end to a mega deal like this, especially when you just brought in a really good wide receiver, and wide receivers generally cost $20 million or more at some point. This is a problem, I think, for them in short order, but we'll see what happens. Now, McBride was the second highest graded tight end by PFF with an 86.8, and he was only second to George Kittle last season. Brock Bowers obviously had an amazing rookie year, 112 receptions, 1,194 yards, respectively, as they say. He's more than just a pure pass catcher, as they say. He's also dominant in space. He provides a breath of fresh air to the Cardinals' positional group that has been neglected for decades. Well, how's his blocking? Right? How's his blocking? I'd like to know how good his blocking is in the run game and in the pass game, right? For other players on the field. Look, I'm not going to bore you with the rest of this article. What I'm going to show you is the stats. Because to me, this just doesn't make a ton of sense. Let me bring it in here. Let's get to Trey McBride's first. So Trey McBride, as I said, let's compare this to Sam LaPorta, because Sam LaPorta is a guy that's about to get a major bag or not. We may lose Sam LaPorta. So in 2022, Trey McBride's rookie season, 29 catches, 39 targets, 265 yards, 9.1 average, 1 touchdown. That is pretty pathetic for a rookie deal, right? For a rookie contract, for a guy that was taken in the second round. The next year, 23. Huge leap in production, but why? So 81 receptions, 106 targets, 825 yards, 10.2 average, 3 touchdowns. Again, I'm going to question the production here with points. Great, you're catching the ball, you're getting some yards, but you're not putting up any points. Okay? My main question is why the meteoric jump from year 1 to year 2? Well, if you remember, there's a guy by the name of Zach Ertz. Zach Ertz suffered, I believe, was a knee injury in 2023, which now meant Trey McBride was your number 1 pass-catching tight end. And that's exactly what they did. They started throwing him the ball often. Again, like I said, in 2024, he's now the number 1 as a tight end. And they chucked the ball 147 times at him. My goodness, you better hope he comes down with 100 plus of them. And yes, he should have more than 1,000 yards. If you were to throw that many balls at Sam LaPorta, hell, he might go for 1,500 easily. But here's what I question. 2 touchdowns. How are you paying this guy this much money on 2 touchdowns? Now, again, I'm not here to knock Trey McBride. I think he's a fine tight end. I just feel like this is a big disaster waiting to happen now for Sam LaPorta. Because Sam LaPorta was so good as a rookie. I mean, he was smashing records. We thought that he was going to go all the way and smash Mike Ditka's record. He just couldn't hang on at the end of the season, had an injury. But in 2023, as a rookie, mind you, as the 34th overall pick out of the 2023 draft, 86 receptions, 120 targets, 889 yards, 10.3 average, and 10 touchdowns. Now, that 10.3, that is the best that Trey McBride has had per catch. That is the baseline for Sam LaPorta as a rookie. Now, I also mentioned Sam LaPorta has an All-Pro and Pro Bowl. Trey McBride has a Pro Bowl. So that is another reason why Sam LaPorta's contract is going to be so expensive, especially as a franchise tag. Those are all escalators. In 2024, Sam didn't have a regression of a year. Yeah, he caught, 26 passes less. He also battled injury through the first several weeks of the season, and he caught about 170 or 160 yards less in yards. Not that big of a deal. Had a huge increase in average per catch at 12.1, almost, 2 yards a catch, 7 TDs. I think that Sam had a hell of a second season. Most times you see sophomore slumps. I think that he was right on point, especially battling through all the injuries and things that he did. Now, I'm going to point back to the earlier slide that I showed you of contracts. Right now, Trey McBride is going to own the richest contract in NFL history for a tight end. If you believe that Sam LaPorta is a better tight end than Trey McBride, drop that in the comments below and let me know what you feel. Do you feel that Sam LaPorta is deserved of a $20 million a year deal? And the reason why I say 20 is because it's going to be no less than that. Sam LaPorta, next season, entering his 4th year, is going to be up for a contract extension, or he's going to have to get franchise tagged in the following season. Franchise tag numbers right now, I'm not so sure what the number is, but I'm going to take a wild guess. It's no less than about $14 million, especially when you put together the All-Pros, the Pro Bowls, and the top 10 contracts. It's going to be about $14 million, no less, for Sam LaPorta. It's a good number. It's a great number. It's not $19 million. It's not $20 million. It's not $22 million. But I'm just going to forewarn everybody that the Lions have a big problem on their hands now. How are they going to retain Sam LaPorta after next season? And Jahmyr Gibbs and Jack Campbell. This is exactly why this offseason I brought everyone through the exercise in February where I said the Detroit Lions are not going to go after a big pass rusher. The Detroit Lions are not going to go spend lavishly in free agency. Yes, they're going to go out and get their corner. They're going to have to either bring Carlton back or find a replacement. And that's exactly what they did. I was forecasting very early on at the end of last season when I had time to look at the future and what was coming up. I seen these things coming. And now it's like everyone just woke up and was like, holy cow, we have all of these great athletes on the Detroit Lions that we need to get re-signed or extended. Well, in my opinion, this problem has always been here. And you have that problem when you have a general manager that drafts as well as he does and coaches that are able to develop as well as they do. This is the new Detroit Lions. It is draft and develop and hopefully extend and re-sign. Sam LaPorta in 2026. Is he going to get an extension that is going to break the bank and become a Detroit Lion for the next 4, 5, 6 years? Or will he be franchise tagged? Let me know in the comments below. Or is Sam LaPorta going to play his last season in Detroit next year? I don't even want to say those words, to be honest with you. Appreciate the hell out of Sam. Sam, he's earned every dollar that he's going to get. I just don't know how it's going to get done. But that's it for this episode. What do you guys think now? Lions are in trouble, man. We got a lot of big contracts coming up, and there's just never enough money to pay them all in the NFL. But that's it for this one. You guys take care. Go and probably go Detroit Lions. We'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.